Hi guys, I had recorded this video, but there was no volume. It's kind of frustrating, but let's do it again. So I basically want to share my thoughts and ICC and my analysis on the price action and what's happening on NQ. So as we all know, NQ has been on a downtrend. So personally, I am bearish for NQ coming into the day. If we go to, this is our 1 hour time frame, by the way. And let's take a quick look at what NQ has been doing the last couple of days. Okay, so price broke. Price created this low, and then 2 days ago it had a bearish indication, and then it corrected. Right. Again, you would be monitoring correction on the 15-minute time frame. Once price breaks structure on that 15-minute time frame, of course, you would take the continuation as long as it's below the swing low. Of course, there would be sellers here. You could take the continuation back down. So price came here, created a lower high, and then below here it broke structure and it came all the way back down. So below this low, again, price creates a new indication yesterday, and then when price created this new low, it started to correct and then created this lower high. Right, this lower high was basically the correction from this bearish move, and then on the 15-minute time frame, again, you would see when price started to break structure underneath this low, and again, it was safe to take it back down. So what happened again yesterday in the Asia session? By the way, this is the 2nd of February 2026, so this happened overnight. So price made a new indication towards the end of New York session yesterday, and it started to correct. Right, price started to correct. Price got to this level. Of course, there are sellers sitting here. It would have a reaction, but price reclaimed it and went higher, and the correction started to happen in the session. Again, I would be looking for sells if price breaks back under this low. Right, if price starts to break structure on the 15 minutes and break back under this low, I will be looking for sales to ride it, the continuation back down here. But if price starts to break a high, if price starts to reclaim this high and make a new indication to the upside, I will start thinking buys. Personally, I wouldn't take that trade because I would like to see a consistency in the bullish trend. I would like to see a higher highs, higher lows, higher highs before taking the bullish trend, because again, we're in a very strong bearish market right now, so I would be very cautious taking buys. But if we want to go to the 15-minute time frame to look at this correction, you would basically be watching this. Right, so price started to correct after this bearish indication. Price started to correct, creating higher highs, higher lows. You can take the correction if you wish, but again, you'll be monitoring this on the higher time frame, and then price got to this point. Again, this was the point where it had corrected to yesterday. So this is our 1 hour level, and currently I am looking for price to start breaking structure on the 15-minute time frame. If price breaks structure to the downside, price breaks this low, comes back, creates a new high, and fails to reclaim this high, I would personally be looking for sales below this low, and I would take the sales back down over here. I'm not going to anticipate and take sales right away because I need to see a clean break of structure. I need to see a clean break of structure here underneath here and fall back below this zone. I want to see some sellers step into the market below this low, and I'm going to take the sales back to the low, my bad. Right, so again, don't mistake this movement for bullish, for price being bullish. Price is just correcting from a bearish trend. It just corrected from a lower low. Remember, if price creates an indication, this is why we're not shorting it right away, because you could get trapped and price could correct all the way and you end up being liquidated. This is why we always wait for that retracement. We're always waiting for that correction all the way back up, and then we're monitoring it again, like I mentioned, on the 15-minute time frame. When price creates a low and a high, we're basically just tracking it. If price creates a new high, we'll track it. If it creates a new low, we're tracking it. Right, we're just keeping an eye on the highs and the lows, and then we're waiting for price to break structure. Again, we'll start thinking buys if it breaks a 1 hour resistance level. Right, this is we'll keep an eye on this level. If buyers step in and pushes price above this high, this is a 1 minute level, pushes price above it, creates a new indication. If you want to take that, you can take that. Continuation, like I said, personally, I would want to see consistency in the upward move, in the bullish trend. I would want to see price come back and make another correction and prove that it is actually starting to flip bullish and buyers is actually starting to step in, because as we all know, NQ is very notorious for fake outs. So you would want to preserve your capital. Personally, I wouldn't take any longs today. Price could basically just push up and keep going, but that's not my trade. It would be a no trade day for me. I would just keep an eye on sells. If price decides to sell back down, I will be taking that move. Again, you can take, remember never to chase any bullish move. If price decides to be bullish, you would need to wait for correction and a reclaim, right? Price has to reclaim in order to continue going, because price could go bullish and come back down and fail to reclaim and just drop. All right, so always wait for that second move. Always wait for that correction in order to go long. Same as the shorts. If price breaks this low, always wait for that correction and then a continuation, and you're taking it back under here, and then you have your target, right? So again, the reason we're taking shorts below here is because they're buyers. The reason you're taking longs above here is because the reason you're taking sells below here is because they're sellers, right? That's the reaction price got when it was below this level. You see what happens when it got back here? It sold off a little bit. So there's sellers sitting here, and as soon as they reclaim this level, you can see the momentum that buyers use to push the price back up. So again, always wait for price to show its hands first before taking any move. All right, so you're waiting for two things. You're waiting for price to start claiming the 1 hour high, which is here. Price needs to break above this high, basically creating the new higher high, comes back to correct, and it goes. Personally, I'm leaning towards the downside. Like I said, NQ is a bearish, so I wouldn't feel comfortable taking any longs yet until I see some consistency in the longs. I want to see something like this. It's okay to miss the first long move, but I'm gonna wait for another higher high as a confirmation. It might not happen today, but yeah, NQ is in a downtrend, and of course, you can play this trade however you want to play it. But for me, on the safe side, I would only be looking for shorts if price breaks below this low, and if price breaks above this high, then my short idea is invalidated. All right, so I hope you guys stay safe, stay sharp, manage your risk properly, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful weekend. Bye.